This video is brought to you by Iona, North America's premier charging network. With unmatched commitment to elevating the customer experience, Iona is opening America's roads to all EVs, giving drivers the coverage they need, the reliability they deserve, and the amenities they crave.
Hey guys, welcome to another Out of Spec Reviews video. If you can hear me over the sound of old F1 cars, yes, I am at Goodwood Festival of Speed, and it is a dream of mine to come to this event. I'm so glad that I was able to come here and experience the hill climb. I'm actually going to be going up the hill in the Hyundai Ioniq 6N, which will be a whole video on this channel. So I think it's already going to be up by the time this comes up. So stay tuned for the Ioniq 6N hill climb run, which will be really cool. However, I thought I would take you on a tour to show you some amazing and interesting electric cars that are here on display. I'm in the UK, in England, and there's this wild mix of European automakers bringing out new electric cars, but also some of the Chinese brands we know bringing out electric cars, and some of them even being imported here under different names. So we have some work to do, some exploring to do. So let me show you around some cool cars, some electric cars here at Goodwood Festival of Speed. So it's going to be a super loud one. I don't know if you'll be able to hear me over the noise, but I want to show you this brand right here, Alpine. Now, I'm an old Alpine enthusiast. I also love their A220, their combustion sports car, which is right over there. That's what I was looking for. And then here you have their electric ones. So this is the A290, which is based basically on a Renault R5. And essentially a tuned up version of it. But and that's, you know, a lot of media on that car that's been out there. But this is the first time I'm personally seeing the A390. And the A390 is essentially a Nissan Ariya underneath, or like a Renault Scenic. It's built on that platform. Over 400 horsepower tri-motor available as well. Alpine known to be a performance brand, and here this is their performance electric SUV. Kind of exciting. I'm really looking forward to playing around with this one day. This is the A390 GTS model, and I don't know much about it, but I know it's built on a similar, you know, Renault platform with Nissan involvement as well, that sort of CMF situation. And I think this could be really cool. Guys, we're making our way over here to the Ford booth, which Ford has some very specific European models that we actually have some videos on this channel. I'm going to ignore the Dark Horse, which I'm excited about. I just watched the new Mustang GTD go up the hill, which looked absolutely amazing and sounded incredible. But here, this is my first time seeing the Puma Gen E. Really cool one. And let's take a look really quick. I think the design is great. I think the size is great. Of course, Ford doesn't do any real small cars in the US other than the Mustang, right? Which isn't even that small. And so here you've got the Puma. Wow, plenty of trunk space. Is this one of the MEB-based models? It doesn't actually seem to be. I don't know. You guys let me know in the comments. I don't know much about this car, but we definitely should check it out. Then you have the traditional, you know, what we're used to, Mustang Mach-E GT. And this is, you know, sort of unchanged for the European market in the new green eruption green, is it? With the bronze options. We have this car in the US. This is interesting, and something that Williams actually shot a full video on our channel for, the electric Ford Explorer. Now, it's actually really a Volkswagen ID4 underneath. It's built on MEB, and you can see a lot of traces of the Volkswagen, you know, branding in here, stuff like that. They have their own Ford-specific software that doesn't look half bad, actually. And overall, I think this was a really cool option. Definitely check out Williams' video on this channel. Just search for Ford Explorer, and you'll see it. And then you have the Capri, which is almost identical, if not identical, underneath to this model. You can see how this is a squared back here. The Capri is more of a fastback. I think more ID5 and ID4 siblings, if you will. I much prefer the Ford Explorer EV. I actually think this would do really well if they just named it the Escape in the US. If they had a Ford Escape electric, it's boxy, it's practical, you get a lot of MEB stuff, which actually isn't bad, especially not after they figured out the software bugs. You can literally see, that's so funny, like an ID4 screen right in there on the dash. That's hilarious. I think it's a cool car. I would totally do this. And yeah, what does it say about anything here? Price, £50,000. Ooh, 53. Quite expensive. Maybe that's the problem. But I really love this little Puma electric. I don't know anything about this car, but this definitely is one that we gotta test next time we're in Europe. Much more reasonable pricing, of course. And does it say anything about the battery pack in here? No way. 123 kilowatt hours. That can't be right. It's got to be kilowatts. And they put the H there. Oh no, another fail of an automaker getting their units wrong. Well, that's a bummer. On that note, let's go explore and find some other cars. As we make our way down this way, I of course had to make a quick detour to check out the GMA T50 Gordon Murray's cars, and these are just absolutely amazing. He has his track variant over here on the right, and just absolutely insane. And then this is the T33 Spider over there on the left. So just one of my favorite cars ever of modern history. I think this thing is everything I want in a vehicle. I think a lot of people could say that. Pretty unobtainium though, so we're not going to spend too much time on it. Although I would love to get behind the wheel one day and make a review. I think it'd be so cool. Oh guys, check this out. We have a McMurtry over here, and the McMurtry is a insane machine. I think holds the record here at the Goodwood Hill Climb. Absolutely insane monster, fully electric, way more than a hypercar. It's more like a physics defier. And I mean that because there's a giant vacuum system that basically pulls all this exhaust air. And it's not exhaust air from a combustion process, it's exhaust air from underneath the car that can suck it down to the road. So it can actually drive upside down in Australia mode, and that's what this is essentially displaying here when you rotate this around 180 degrees, which it looks like they're almost going to do a live demo of, which would be amazing to show you. Perhaps we can see that in action, or maybe it just happened because they're getting out of the car. Anyway, really impressive that it generates so much suction force that it can literally drive upside down at low speed. So that's really cool. I'm in love with that car. Oh, here we have the BMW Vision driving experience, whatever they call it, the Neue Klasse crazy thing. I rode in this exact car in Spartanburg, South Carolina on the BMW test facility. Well over 1,000 horsepower, 4 motors, also has suction that can suck you down to the ground. It's really a benchmarking test vehicle for their new Heart of Joy, essentially a driving dynamics ECU that brings in all of the parameters of the driving experience so that the car does exactly what you want. And it's really cool. As cars become more complicated and more capable with suspension systems and braking systems that are infinitely variable and powertrain with individual motor control, BMW said, hey, we need one box to put in the vehicle that can control the entire dynamics of the car. It's really smart. It should make it drive very cohesively. This is another one of my favorites right here, another Chinese car brought here to the UK. That's really the whole MG brand. This is the Cyberster. And I don't know the specs offhand, but I think we can find it right here. It looks like it's a roughly 74 kilowatt hour usable battery pack. It's 375 kilowatts. I actually had the opportunity to drive one of these in America for a very quick stint, which was really cool. It was brought over there for some showcases and had a quick go. So I think it's really cool to see it here. My understanding is not every MG dealer can retail the Cyberster, but yeah, cool car, basically Chinese car for here, very neat. Now, if you guys remember a video I did on this channel with the I think LS6, that sedan over there, I reviewed this car and I called it something like, this Chinese electric car is insane, what's going on over there, something like that. Well, the IM brand is now coming in under the MG brand here to the UK. So we have a full driving review of this car. Insane, you know, we're talking over 750 horsepower, roughly 100 kilowatt hour battery pack, I think just under that usable, and a absolute monster of a vehicle, rear steer, really cool tech, just a wild car and very reasonably priced. So I think if the Europeans here are into tech, into crazy features for a very reasonable cost, again, I don't know what this costs in this market, this would be the car, because in China it's really cheap. In China, the one I drove was like $50,000 and it had some crazy specs. Let's see, yeah, 100 kilowatt hours, 96 usable, 750 horsepower, so 550 kilowatts, doesn't show, oh, price, yeah, that's what I'm talking about, 48,000 pounds. So this is cheaper than the Ford Explorer electric, and it makes 750 horsepower. It has a 96 kilowatt hour battery pack with like 400 miles of range. That's what I'm talking about. That's the scary thing for the whole auto industry, is seeing the Chinese infiltrate sort of the existing status quo automakers and really shake things up. This is the SUV version of the same car. Again, both very popular in China. this even more popular in China. I think the SUV is pretty ugly in my opinion, but I actually think that one looks pretty damn good, and I was very impressed. It's basically like a Model 3 performance for less money. We talked about Renault before, and here we have a couple cars coming up, which is really cool. So this is the Renault 4 that's coming down the way here. And this is, yeah, basically similar to the Renault 5 underneath is my understanding, but more boxy, a little bit more practical. Really cool to see the Renault 4 here. It's definitely a car we have to make a video with. And here's an MG ZS EV that's like full rally build is kind of what it looks like. It's called the EX4. Okay, that's pretty interesting. Here's the John Cooper Works Mini J01 platform. So that's a fully electric JCW Mini built by Great Wall Motors. Here's the Mini Aceman in JCW trim. I have a whole video on the Mini Aceman JCW on this channel. Here's one of my favorites, the Renault R5, super duper cool. And here's what I'm going up in the hill in pretty soon. This is the Ioniq 6N. This is why I came all the way out here to be here for the global debut of the Ioniq 6N, but it doesn't look good from the back, does it? Oh, they got to work on that. Okay, Ford Puma Electric again. We showed you that at the Ford booth just over that way. That was rapid fire EVs, was it not? Absolutely crazy. Really excited here for the BMW M2 CS as well, making its global debut for driving. Looks great, and this is what I really want. M3 CS Touring, absolutely awesome. Shout out to this guy. He was doing huge burnouts out there on the field. It was great to see. But no way, an Xpeng P7 Plus, super cool to see this thing here as well. That's awesome. And an Xpeng G6 making their way into the European market, in other markets, but I guess the UK market as well, both of those being left-hand drive vehicles. Here we see that IM/MG model again. They call it the IM5 here in the UK market. That was absolutely awesome. Defender Octa, basically a BMW M5 powertrain in a Defender. That is sick. Very much an Rivian R1S quad motor competitor right there. I'm excited for that. And then the Defender Trophy. I'm a big Land Rover nerd, if you guys don't know, and I'm particularly excited for the Range Rover Electric. Here we have a Series 2 Rolls-Royce Ghost. This was ripping up the hill. He was absolutely sending it, which was hilarious to see. There's also a guy with a Spectre black badge that's been ripping up the hill as well. Another Ioniq 6N. This one's more the standard model, and that's the standard wing. They do make an adjustable accessory wing, which is crazy. And I'll have a full, like I mentioned, a full in-depth video on that car coming. Here's that Alpine A390, is it? I believe so. Yeah, A390 GTS tri-motor model right there. And here's the A290, a rally spec. This looks amazing, caged up. Whoa, that looks really cool. I definitely got to check that out for sure. This is amazing. We were in the right place at the right time. That never happens for YouTube. We just got rapid fire crazy cars right there. And then we have brands like Chery and JQ, which is under, I believe, the Chery brand. I'm not familiar with these, but I imagine electric or range extended electric models. There's so many of these brands that are popping up that even I have trouble keeping up with them. Of course, I'm familiar with Chery. JQ is one I'm not familiar with. I thought it would have been J-Tour, but it certainly isn't. And then you have Taycan Turbo GT, a vehicle we're very familiar with on this channel, an absolute animal, both on track and on the street with Porsche Active Ride, really controlling everything. This one is equipped as a Weissach model, so you can see they have the sport carbon bucket seats, which are not available in the US market, and then also the carbon tub in the rear. I've been lucky enough to do Autobahn top speed runs in Turbo GT, touching almost 200 miles an hour. That video's on this channel. And of course, many Nürburgring laps until the tires fell off. Really lucky to have that opportunity with this car. Nothing new, nothing updated for this year for Turbo GT. It still kind of is the king of repeatability until that shows up, which is the Xiaomi SU7 Ultra. We'll talk about that later on as well. Here we have the new E4 Cayenne. Excited for this car. It's going to be really cool. Over 100 kilowatt hour battery pack built on PPE. Also planning to make a full video of this as soon as possible. Really cool car. We don't know much about it. We can assume somewhere around 400 kilowatt charging, pretty good range, off-road and on-road capability. I should have all the technical details to you as soon as I'm able to go and share all of that, but very much excited for E4 Cayenne. Spoke to some of the development engineers who are here taking care of this car. Sounds like progress is moving along great. I'm going to assume this is the top spec model because it has the Turbo Night badge on it, which means it's of the higher trim, and it's equipped with the carbon ceramic braking option. This one's been setting records for SUV hill climbs already with Richard Hammond behind the wheel. That's this very car, and it's just going out showing that electric SUVs can be really performance oriented, but with Porsche, they say this thing should pretty much match the Taycan in terms of road tripping speed. That's the rumor. And we all know we set the cannonball record in the Taycan. So to me, it's this and Lucid Gravity going head to head in our market. It's going to be so exciting to really see which one can be better in which category. I cannot wait to get my hands on this car and run it through all of the tests for you guys. More to explore. There's some really cool stuff over here, such as the J12 e-tron GT, which I have a full video on. We'll get to that in a second, but this is the first time I'm able to present to you the new Mercedes CLA electric. This one's actually the 250 Plus, if I remember correctly. I saw it just briefly earlier today, and it's the first Mercedes that's on the high voltage architecture, really the Gen 2 of their entire system. Should be extremely efficient, very slippery design with a small frontal area, plus again going high voltage means some really interesting charging possibilities, over 300 kilowatt charging, about an 86 kilowatt hour battery pack in this, if I remember off the top of my head, and their next generation MBUX system as well. That should be really intuitive with some AI assistant. Am I getting anything wrong yet?
You're getting it spot on.
Okay, nice.
Volts, 88.5 usable kilowatt hours, 484 miles WLTP.
Yeah, 484 miles WLTP.
Rear-wheel drive, 270 PS.
Yeah, it should be good, but they also will have the 350 4MATIC coming soon, right?
In due course, this platform's going to underpin a whole heap of different cars.
And even a hybrid powertrain is my understanding at some point.
Quite possibly. I don't have the full system, but
yeah,
the development that's gone into this will, and this is the first car with our own Mercedes-Benz operating system, MB.OS, so it powers the entire car.
That I'm so excited to experience. The first drive reviews will be coming out this week, is my understanding, so we'll hear more about it, which is really cool. And then the US, do you mind if I show the charging port really quick? Is that okay? Because the US is actually going to have a different charging port than you guys have. For the first time on a Mercedes, the new CLA will ship with native NACS or J3400, which is quite exciting. But interestingly, the J3400 port in our market, this is just CCS2, will only do DC charging. And then we'll have a J plug for AC charging.
Gotcha.
It's a little bit clunky at launch. I'm curious to see how customers handle that. I'm sure they'll integrate it into one port at some point in the future.
320 kilowatts maximum charge.
That's impressive.
400 miles in 10 minutes, you get the right time of day, big charger.
Yeah, so if you get there 10% state of charge, roughly you'll get 200 miles WLTP in 10 minutes. Yeah, so this that should be amazing. We do a test that simulates that in the US, and we call it the 10% challenge. And we'll basically, this should be right up there with the big boys. Absolute amazing road tripper. And I'm particularly excited about Mercedes launching their new technology on sort of their entry model. Obviously, this will work its way up to EQE and EQS as EVA 2 platform comes, and we can see some more things from them. But this is a really cool car. Personally, the design doesn't do it for me, but the technical components and the efficiency, I cannot wait to test. So,
good chance this will in Baby G as well. So,
oh, that's right, Baby G class. That's a thing. Can't wait for it. Thanks so much for the information. We'll see you around. Yeah, this is a car I'm so excited as a technical showcase. Really, the Germans, I think, catching up to where they needed to get to as soon as possible. I'm going to get to the Xiaomi SU7 Ultra in a second because I'm so excited about that car. But think about this. This is really the best Germany can do against the best China can do, and that is less than half the cost. Absolutely crazy. So this is e-tron GT J1.2. It's the second generation of the J1 platform. 105 kilowatt hours gross. I want to say 99 usable or somewhere around there. 97 usable, 105 gross, plus or minus in the region. I've done many videos with this. We've set the cannonball record with this platform in the US. 320 kilowatt peak charging, holds 300 kilowatt to 65%. It's a charging monster for what's available in the West. You know, I think the Audi version makes for a fantastic secondhand offering. These cars drop like crazy in the secondhand market. Highly recommend picking up a used one on CPO with that extended warranty. Should be really great. And this is not even the RS model. This is the 500 horsepower, 370 kilowatt model. Someone set the CLA alarm off over there. And, you know, even for being a base car, I think it looks okay. Not digging these wheels. I think the RS models are the way to go in the secondhand market. You really get a spicy car. Now, this is a car I have just been dreaming of to show you guys. As you know, I'm sort of fascinated with this Chinese electric car thing. And I've had the chance to drive the Xiaomi SU7 Max, which is the trim down from this. This is the Ultra, which is a crazy multi-motor, big battery, 12-minute charging performance, and 1,500 horsepower, plus or minus, if I remember correctly. These guys have been driving it all over the place. This is a Chinese plated and registered Xiaomi SU7 Ultra. It's on the big carbon ceramic brakes. It's got everything going. It's been on the Nürburgring. It's so cool to see these guys driving around, doing big road trips, and setting Nürburgring lap times for the class of vehicle just around 7 minutes in this very car, which is so impressive to see from a Chinese electric sedan. We always say Chinese cars, yeah, they're really fast. Yeah, they're really tech forwards, but do they have the driving dynamics to really dial in everything to make it feel like a Porsche Taycan? Well, I thought the Xiaomi SU7 Max got close. I was really impressed with that car. I think the Ultra is going to dial it up, and I really can't wait to have a go in this car. Forrest and I have been trying to beg Xiaomi to bring one to the US so we can film it for you, or us to go to China to film it. I think it'd be really fun, and this is a car I'm just absolutely thrilled to see here at the Goodwood Festival of Speed going up the hill. It's so impressive. It was great to chat with the guys that are running this car. They're super cool enthusiasts, electric performance enthusiasts just like us. I invited them to bring it over to the States, bring it to the out-of-spec track. They said they're going to try, and you know, sort of left my contact info. I'm like, if you need any help, man, how cool would it be to see this absolutely ripping around the out-of-spec track and put it up against the Model S Plaid Track Pack and Turbo GT and Sapphire? We need to make that happen. We have to make that happen. That car is absolutely insane. We have the Lamborghini booth right here, but actually Lotus is just over this way, and there's some interesting Lotus models that have been coming out recently that we've talked about, I think all of them, but never really in one place. And this is such a unique opportunity to have sort of the Lotus that we all know and love with lightweight sports cars and the Emira. And I've done many videos on the Emira, sort of deep diving on my personal channel, which is just called Kyle Connor. More videos coming on there, by the way, if you're interested in more combustion cars, which is my passion, of course. But here we have the Emea, which is sort of a Taycan competitor. We're talking, again, almost 400 kilowatt charging, built on a Geely platform. So it is, again, a Chinese car badged as a Lotus. A lot of people take issue with the Emea and the Electra because, in general, they are not what Lotuses have traditionally been. This is a heavy, big luxury sedan with a ton of power and a ton of brakes. But I think it's actually pretty cool in terms of a technological system. I just think maybe don't put the Lotus badge on there, but the brand has to stay alive somehow, and this is maybe the way to do it. This is not available in the North American market yet. Maybe one day. The Electra just went on sale in the US, and as we make our way over there, I can show you that. But this is the Avaya. This is what I have been absolutely dreaming of. Another car that I've been dreaming of to drive and experience. Insane electric hypercar. Thousands of horsepower, bespoke engineering, just like really everything dialed up to 11 in this thing. Full carbon, so cool. And this is, you know, honoring some very famous Lotus racing drivers of past, which is very cool. Here we have the Emira. This is a V6 manual. We won't talk about it in this video since it's just on electric cars, but this is the Electra, and this is what's actually for sale in the US. We have the carbon edition only because it is produced in China, so there's a big import tax, talking almost $300,000, I believe, mid-200s in the US for this particular one. Other markets will get lower spec versions such as the S model and the R model. We only get the R carbon edition. We have a full review on our channel of the Lotus Electra from a couple years ago. Not much has changed, is my understanding. Very cool car. Alyssa loves it. They do drive a little bit big and a little heavy and not very Lotus-like, if I'm honest, but it is a cool car. You just have to ignore the Lotus brand. At least that's what I tell myself when I go for a drive in them. I do really love the cars. I just don't think it fits with the brand heritage. But if they got to stay alive to make Emiras this way, I'm all for it. Speaking of Geely Group and Lotus being a part of that, how cool would it be if Polestar folds back into Volvo and Zeekr takes Polestar's place? That would be another dream of mine because I love Zeekr products. The new 9X looks insane, and maybe I'll do a whole bits episode on that for you guys. Would be really cool to show that. We've got some other cool cars up here to explore as we make our way over there. Ioniq 6Ns, just seeing them over there. I know I've mentioned it a lot in this video, but I'm keeping my eye on time because it is almost my time to go up the hill, and I'm super excited about it. I know the videos will be out of order, but I can't wait to do it. Here's the Alpine SUV that we showed you earlier, and the A290 rally car, Renault R5 down that way as well, and the electric minis just over here. Interestingly, this is cool. We have the new Audi S6. They have an A6 and S6 e-tron. This is the S6 Sportback e-tron. We are actually getting this car in the US. I've filmed a full first drive for you as well. There's the RS e-tron GT, so that's the spicy one. This is quite exciting. I drove it. I don't know if the embargo's up yet or not. I haven't even edited the video. I kind of forgot that I shot it, so I've got to edit it for you guys. Interesting car. I think it's the safe play. Built on PPE, very similar to Macan and Q6. Offers one pedal driving, no timeline on NACS. You know, around 90 something kilowatt hour battery pack, same battery as Macan, all that stuff. But this is sick. This is the RS6 GT model, so RS6 Avant GT, amazing car, 4-liter twin turbo V8, big ceramics, spec to everything, very limited production run, dialed up to 11, and they are going for over sticker, of course. Exciting car and draws a lot of attention and a lot of fans. I think I've shown you pretty much everything in this section of the event. There's definitely more to see, so I think we should make our way over to some other areas and show you some stuff. But in general, we really have covered a lot of ground so far, so let's keep it going. Unfortunately, guys, that is it for this episode of Car Spotting. There were some other cool things there that I wanted to show you, such as the new Jaguar EV concept, the really crazy looking thing that is extremely controversial, but I think the design of it is amazing and probably a good direction for Jag overall in terms of the car. Land Rover had some interesting things there on display, just like the first run of every Range Rover, and then I think they had a full-size electric Range Rover that I would have loved to show you. But in general, I think we covered mostly everything electric that was at the show. Right after filming this, I got pulled away to do the hill climb episode that's already live. Thank you to those of you who watched that in the Ioniq 6N. Super fun, and in general, just a kind of a hodgepodge quick tour. I had a few minutes to film this for you guys and really enjoyed checking out so many new electric cars. The R5 and the Alpine A290, is it? Those two really stick around in my mind as just cool cars that I can't wait to spend more time testing and playing around with. Maybe William in Norway can actually run them through some tests for us at some time soon. Anyway, thanks so much for watching another Out of Spec Reviews video. Going to Goodwood was a dream, and I am thrilled to have been able to share those electric cars with you. Anyway, see you on another one again soon. Bye-bye.